That's my boy! Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia!
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander War. Don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for people.
What?
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Oh, shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Unity Channel. Zero News to now. Tom Generation Next. It's gonna shine a light. Generation X.
Yo, camera facing the wrong way. Actually, is it facing the wrong way? I'll leave that to you to quit. Beautiful day. We've had nothing but rain and shite, and it's going to be 14 for the next 4 or 5 days, 14 to 16. I'll take that. It is, from my perspective, been raining since September, so I will take it. This place has been just flooded. Anyway, I wasn't planning. Let me just turn this around a second. I wasn't planning to do a massive live session today, but there's a few things I wanted to talk about briefly. But also as well, I wanted to turn around a minute. 1 second, guys. I also wanted to recognise and thank all of the new people that have come over to the channel. You come over the channel at a time of particular drama, I suppose, in some people's eyes. Although to me, it's not, because it's all politics. And what I mean by that is it's party politics. So for as much as some people take this ultra seriously in terms of, it's all personal, and I don't see it as being that personal, other than the personal attacks that are actually made, for the simple fact that it's party politics. And again, I keep saying, what do people expect except cloak and daggers? So with all that said, it's given me a lot to think about. Things I've seen over the last few days give me a hell of a lot to think about. But I wanted to first address the people that have come over. It's one thing coming over because someone says come over, but coming over, you've given me a chance. You've watched the videos I've done. You've also watched the protests that I covered yesterday, and you've stuck around. You've supported me. That encouragement, that support, is something that Vin always talks about as well. That encouragement, support, I can honestly tell you, means more than money. Yeah, money gets you to more places, but the support is what. So money provides you with the ability to get to those places, but the support is what gives you that extra bit of motivation on the days when you're not feeling so strong. So and it's what makes you realise that you're not doing it in vain, because people are supporting what you're trying to do. So it's like a, once it starts, it's just a self-perpetuating loop. You provide the energy, and I've got a lot of energy myself, which you've probably worked out, and it becomes a self-sustaining loop. And that's why channels tend to chug at first, and then once they start getting a rhythm, that's why. It's because it becomes self-sustaining. The audience sustains the creator sustains the audience. It's a great symbiotic relationship if you're smart enough to know to use it, rather than treat your audience like they're second-class citizens. So, so I wanted to thank you for giving me that time, but also to say this isn't like a drama channel. I cover whatever I want, or whatever I feel like, or what's going on. So, you know, we may take some right angles here and there, but the main thing is to try and give you some escape, which is hard to do with the world we're living in, whilst at the same time giving you some realism as well. So one of the first things I wanted to address today was Jupiter. Jupiter, I don't know if she still goes under the name Jupiter Affiliated, but everybody knows Jupiter in the movement anyway. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard that she gave me a massive shout out last night. Not just a shout out, but she said some really, really nice things. Things that, and I admit this, right, I'll hold my hands up. Going back a little while, I was a bit bitter about some things, and I felt like I was being not being given certain respect. And it wasn't about really being given respect. It was about the fact that certain people had all kicked me to the corner, knowing perfectly well what I was capable of, and having had used me before, it just felt like disrespectful. I knew what I meant, but still, it wasn't a good look. However, Jupiter was there right at the beginning. She saw me grow. And so she saw that, like, when I started working with Tommy, for instance, and this is not Tommy's fault, none of us understood why, but for some reason my channel stopped growing when I started working with him, and none of us really knew why. It was really weird. But the biggest growth my channel ever had was COVID, which is true for many, many creators. They just won't tell you that because it admits something. And that was my biggest growth period, was COVID. So I think it put 13,000 people on in 6 months. It was a crazy period. So yeah, the idea that, you know, and also as well, one reason why I used to show Tommy's videos all the time is I made a promise to one of the people in the team that from the day that he got in prison for 66 days, the lady's name's Gillian. She can confirm that I kept my promise. I told her that I would cover Tommy, 1, until he got out of prison, and 2, until he had his own social media, like mainstream social media again, so he could post his own stuff. What happened when Tommy got his own mainstream social media? I stopped posting his stuff, because it was never about getting views for stuff like that. Jupiter shouted all this out last night. She didn't have to. She didn't have to at all. So I just want to say thank you, Jupiter, for letting people know the real score. And I'm not bitter now. Like I say, you know, I did go for a bit of a stage of blaming people and feeling hard done by, and then you realise that regardless of what's happened, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, like, just being pissed off about everything doesn't help anybody. It wasn't a good look for me. It wasn't helping anybody. But I appreciate being appreciated by someone who's been around to see the full story, you know. So I wanted to just say thank you to Jupiter and shout out to her for that. That was, again, I haven't seen it personally, but that was class. Thank you. I'm not someone that rides on coattails. I'm someone that's had that done to me, and I try not to be bitter about it, but I've had a lot of that done to me. People have used me to get to higher places. So Jupiter's been on my show. I've been heard many times, and actually, you know, people have said to me about how having Jupiter on, oh, how does that work out for you? Actually, she's been a perfect guest every time I've had her on. That's how it worked out for me. It was perfect. So just to answer that question, but in terms of Richard and Paul, this it's got a bit awkward now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm going to save my words and not say too much, because I saw a couple of things, and it's not like me to hold my words, but there are good reasons. So let me just say this: Richard made a video in which he said that Tommy had intervened, and it's people who care about him have intervened, and basically told him to shut the fuck up. But he said it in his way, which was that they'd encouraged him to stop. In his own words, stop. The reason that I'm even struggling here is because he said some of the things that he struggled with as a direct result of being part of the movement. And there was one of those things that he talked about that had zero to do with the movement and everything to do with bad choices. and he shouldn't have brought that into it. I'm not going to do it because it's personal. I'm not going to do it. But I just thought, oh, you know, there's a lot of people out there that could sink you right now for saying that. And I just, you know, so he told a bit of a porky. But I also realised he's trying to save face. What I will say is this. He said that he had some mental health issues. I believe him. Because if you listen to the videos I've been saying to you, I've been saying this is not the Richard I know. Like, I don't understand why he's been, like, genuinely confused as to why he's been so like that. So here now. So if he's got issues like that, I'm not piling on. You don't pile on someone with mental health issues. It doesn't mean that him saying the wrong things are right. But I said when we were doing this, if they stopped saying ridiculous things, well, I would stop, because there's no fuel, you know. So for me, that's enough. Like if he's stopping, I'm stopping. Don't need to do that. Now, Mr. Thorpe has his own choices to make, but don't be fooled. They're not threatened by me. Look at the size of my channel compared to theirs. But my point being is, whether they've got a big channel, small channel, doesn't matter. My own integrity is still what it is. And I'm not going to kick a man while he's down if that's what he's saying. As I said, Mr. Thorpe will have to make his own choices. But again, I would rather it all be over, because to me it's just silly politics. And I say silly politics, meaning it's all about their own ambitions and not so much about what the movement cares about. So I see something today. So actually, I saw something last night which was really encouraging. And it made me wonder. Some of you in the comments are saying to me that Rupert Lowe is the future of the country. And don't forget, people can get very tribal, people can get very protective. I'm not accusing anybody of that, I'm just saying people can. And I've been trying to keep my powder dry until much closer to the elections, because I've been caught out like this before. However, I am wondering if I looked through a lot of your comments today, and I'm wondering if maybe you're right. I'm looking at what's going on now, and I'm seeing the centre and to centre left, which a lot of them have come onto my channel. The ones that have been trolling me have come on the channel, admitted they're centre left, yeah? So they've been coming on trolling and calling everybody racist, basically, because they're centre left, right? And in my chats, in my comments, you can see people saying centre left, centre left, right? This is the problem. This is what I've been saying. So Rupert Lowe, I said to you that Britain has something called the ratchet effect, which is a big problem for British politics, always has been. It means that if a freedom is taken away, the next government will blame the last government and you won't get your freedoms back. That's the way British politics work. Never will you get a manifesto where someone says, right, we're going to reverse all those terrible policies like they do in America. Except now. One thing that I was on Vin's live last night, and it actually knocked me back a bit, because I was proven wrong. For the first time, I was proven wrong. Rupert Lowe has written out everything in ways that you cannot misunderstand. And the very clear things that he's got on there is repealing this, repealing that, repealing the Online Safety Act. He is going to, if he gets power and if he sticks to his word, then his manifesto, if that's what it is, and I think it is, his manifesto is not just about getting certain people out of the country and everything else. It's very clearly about repealing the madness that we've had to suffer. I've never seen anybody get into politics, whether they're a fringe party or mainstream party, ever do that before. Ever. That is directly addressing people like me, who are like, I won't vote unless they repeal shit. Well, now I'm put in a position where, again, the election's 3 years away, but if it was tomorrow, I'd be voting and I know who'd be voting for. The only person who said we're going to repeal all this is the only guy. And he's the only guy that I'm seeing at the moment that's just, if you look at the post that he's made, he's been very straight about his beliefs. And he's even said on there, you know, to leave no doubt And it's worth having a look. It's on X. It's on X. I will see about trying and post it on here later on in case you haven't seen it. But Vin showed it last night on his channel as well. I thought it was brilliant. And I thought that it was really well thought out. I don't know how many people it took to make it. Doesn't really matter. I thought it was really well thought out. It was a really good, more to the point, really down-to-earth, grassroots understandings of the fucking problems that we're suffering in this country. Real grassroots understanding of it. That's what we've been missing. And then not just the understanding of it, but then the practical ways in which we deal with it. Wow. Again, 3 years away. He might not even be the leader by then. All that stuff. But as it stands today, if I'm in a vacuum today, and if the elections are tomorrow, I think he would have got my vote. Because he's the only person saying it. Only one. And he's the only one that I feel hasn't been ambiguous about what he believes in. Because everybody's scared of the media. Everybody's scared of what they'll do to them. I understand why. But then you get what you get like with Farage's party. It's ended up being a centrist party that doesn't really, that just flip-flops all the time because it doesn't have the courage of its convictions. We've had people at the top of our movement for years and years and years and years. They've had ample opportunity to move the country forward. As I've complained about a few times, they haven't. Some good work's been done. Some excellent work's been done. But the best work that I've seen done is like by the Southampton Patriots at the weekend, who, for no money, for no real benefit of their own, are out there fighting for Southampton. And it's the same in other places around the country. The local community groups that don't get the fame, don't get the cameras, don't get the money, they're out there fighting every week. And they are the people I've got so much respect for. There's no cameras on them, not most of the time. There's no glory. There's no joining the influencer market. There's no jetting off around the world. There's just hard, grimy work every week. I fucking respect those people. Really respect them. And then what I found very curious. Obviously, a lot of people support Tommy. I've worked with Tommy. So, you know, we all support Tommy. However, I've always said, if I start agreeing with everything that a leader says, then I'm good to no one. Because I'm just following orders, yeah? Become one of those. So, I just want to say that it was very, very interesting to note that Tommy put out a video basically saying, a little while ago, saying Rupert Lowe, Better Beeb need to sort this out behind closed doors. Yeah, sort it out, boys. I'm not into this politics. So, and I thought it was a perfect video. Tommy's a figurehead. He's not a leader in terms of, he's not a battle leader. He's not a political leader, and he knows it. He says this himself. So he's like a figurehead leader. He's a guy you use to march behind. Yeah, he's the working class avatar, and he's good at it. But in terms of political leadership, that's a very, very different kettle of fish, and he knows that again. So he made a perfect video. So he made some videos yesterday attacking Rupert Lowe. Now I haven't watched them, so I can't comment on them. You can't comment on a video you haven't watched. So what I will say is, not so much about his videos because I haven't seen the content, but how fascinating it was to watch people who had either been silent or people who had been actively supporting Rupert Lowe. One video from Tommy, and all these people that were staunch supporters, all these people that would not be moved, are like, oh, what do we do? We're caught between our favourites. For fuck's sake, it's not about your favourites. Like, you're treating it like a pick and mix. It's not about your fucking favourites. Like, who you enjoy watching the most on YouTube, that's cool. But who you vote for, that's a separate issue. And, like, people need to stop conflating the two. Otherwise, you're going to make bad mistakes. It's like Tommy's brilliant at what he does in America, in the influence scene. But right here, a political situation needs to work itself out. I still hope that they can all sort of come together and make a dream team. But that's going to take a little bit of healing. So, in my opinion, other people sticking their oar in, especially people with big names punching down, as we've talked about before, doesn't help. Makes the problem worse. The only thing I do know about Tom is he won't do it a load of times, I don't expect, because he knows that it's counterproductive after once or twice. So I don't expect that he'll keep doing it, because he knows the score. It'll either make an impact or it won't. So yeah, you know, that's one thing I will say. So what I'm seeing is something that really should have been quieting down by now. And then, you know, those guys could have been on the same side by now. They could have been. But you know, they chose a different path. So that's on them. But I do not want to... And don't get me wrong, like I say, if terrible videos are made, I will respond to them. But generally speaking, if they're going to, especially with Richard, if he's going to stop off the gas, and if he has got problems, then I don't want to pile on. Yeah, because at the end of the day, he's a human being. And when I was around Richard, he always treated me well. All I've been trying to say to you guys is I don't recognise this guy. He's not the guy that I knew. So maybe I was always fooled. Or maybe he has, you know, I don't know. So I don't want to pile on. Paul Thorpe, believe it or not, it's the same with Paul Thorpe. I don't want to pile on Paul Thorpe, but I don't understand how a channel with 600 people on can, what's the word, overwhelm Paul Thorpe. Yeah, he's got 330,000 people on this channel. I think he's quite safe from me. I don't think he needs anybody's help, but they still keep coming over to offer it anyway, offer help to him. All 5 of you now. And all of them, but not all of them, 3 of them have come out and said they were centre left. Centre left. Not even got the strength to say centre left. And you see the problem beginning to open and why there's a gap opening. Because we're now getting down to the true politics of our movement. And unfortunately, this is the heartbreaking part. Just like the left have allied with people like Muslims and stuff like that, thinking they're on the same side when they're really not. The centre and the right, not compatible. Maybe at one time they were, but the centre is again, and by their own admission, centre left. It's not compatible. So we've got a problem. We need to be defeating people like the Green Party and that. Like, they are super dangerous. Unless they cock something up, we need to be getting out and voting and doing stuff and everything else. They are super, super dangerous. However, I do believe if we go out and vote, we can do something about it. I'm seeing at the moment, and again, I didn't want to make a video like this yet because I don't want to be supporting anybody 3 years out. So I'm not throwing my whole support behind a party or anything else, because again, you don't even know in a year if someone won't put a knife in someone's back or whatever else. But as it stands right today, he's the only one who has said he will repeal Starmer's bullshit. He's the only one that has spelled out every single thing. He's the only one that spelled it all out, not been ambiguous, not hidden from it, not hidden from the questions. Even from Tommy's criticism, he leaned straight into it and answered everything like a pro. Like, he's better than I knew. I didn't know him. All I knew was his second-hand reputation from you guys. He's really fucking good. He really handles himself brilliantly. Now I see why you're so hot on him. He's really, really, really good and handles himself like a pro. Doesn't get emotional. Doesn't get stupid. I get it. I get. And he has the answers for everything without being a smart ass. It's really, really good. It doesn't come across like your typical politician that you can never get a straight answer out of. Doesn't dither around. But also at the same time, he's not going to be anybody's mug or fool. Just bear with me, I've got to get across the road. Go. So, yeah, I've been quite impressed with him. So if there was a vote tomorrow, I'd vote Rupert Lowe. So what I don't understand is, all these people, and I'm not talking about just the 2 usual suspects, I'm talking about a lot of people now, maybe thousands of people. I listened to them on the sidelines, whinging and whinge, fucking whinge, moan. right? Kevin Bloody Wilson. And they whinge and moan about unity, not really knowing what unity means. They think unity is a big kumbaya session where we all swap fluids. It's not. However, the right in this country at the moment is quite unified until today. Today, people are beginning to do certain things, and they've got a choice now to make. There's people coming out and beginning to attack Rupert Lowe for reasons, and I mean reasons, yeah? Trying to figure out why, other than that they're trying to follow the leader, yeah? Other than that somebody else has attacked him is my point, yeah? That makes them feel like they've got to follow suit. Pathetic. Be your own leader. And yeah, so I don't understand, like, these people have been wanting unity. Yeah, oh, unity. And I told them, unity's here. Political unity is a little bit harder to fight for, but that's up to the parties to sort out between themselves, isn't it? That's not up to us, you know, they've got to sort that shit out. But the unity on the right's there. We're just not on the same page as the centrists that want to call everyone Nazis. That is not helpful to anybody. Like, when you've got genuine far right to deal with, we deal with them. We always have. Nothing's changed. Why people are pretending now that, oh yeah, we've been infiltrated. Fuck off. Yeah, we fought against the actual Nazis. You can't really call anyone a Nazi, but you know what I mean. Come on, this way. We went up against the people that actually believed in the Austrian painter, yeah? So we did have to deal with all that, and still would today. But a lot of people aren't fans of the Austrian painter. Come on, Sue, go this way. Come on, Sue! Don't fuck me about when I'm on here. Sorry, guys. So, it's very disingenuous what's going on, and it really, what you're seeing isn't a battle of personalities. It's not a battle of right and wrong. It's a battle of centre, left, and right. And we're supposed to be a right-wing movement, looking for a right-wing party to represent the right-wing people on the ground. So, if losing some centrists and some centre-leftists is the cost, so be it. So be it. Because they are the very same people that are afraid of the media. They're the very same people that will pander to the media, like Farage has done. The very same people that will hide and try and be ambiguous so they don't give the truth over what they believe. Which means, if you're not even prepared to speak the truth before you're in power, what's it going to be like when you've got the pressure of the country on your shoulders? What issues are you going to cave on? So, and again, Rupert's untested. I'm not saying that, but I want, like, the way he's come out is what I would want to see a leader be. If he can, I said to Vin last night, if he could do half of what he's saying on there, pull it off, actually do it, it would be a massive leap forward. One of the biggest leap forwards we've had in 40 years. So, I didn't want to put a flag in, and I'm still not putting a flag into a party, but into a person. Yeah, I'm really impressed with him. And I'm putting my weight behind him. And then I'm putting my weight behind people like the Southampton Patriots, in Southampton and across the country. Because there's groups across the country, just as much as you've got these stand up to racism groups that told us we were going to be dwarfed and beat up yesterday. Didn't happen, did it? These groups are everywhere, but there are also patriot groups everywhere. One big difference between the two: patriot groups aren't funded. The stand up to racism groups are. The patriot groups are there because they have to live there with the consequences. This is what I mean. I've got so much respect for those people. You know, they're standing up fighting in their own hometowns. Yesterday, when they did the speeches at the end, who were the two that, if you watched long enough, who were the people that blew the speeches away? Two women stole the show. Their passion, fury, and accuracy was off the roof. They were brilliant. They were absolutely fantastic. Someone said one of them was from Portsmouth, which makes sense. And I'm not sure who the other lady was, but they were both amazing. And I know that some of the Southampton Patriots were a bit disappointed. They wanted some more numbers there, but quality over quantity, guys. You did really good yesterday. You did really good. No incidents from our side again. And people handled themselves really, really well. So, no, it was really cool. And for once, the left were kept in their box, but the one incident, which could have gone very badly for them. So, no, people should be proud. And this is going on up and down the country. And again, other than those bigger demos, if it wasn't for people like Laudits or myself taking a camera on, you wouldn't even know these events are going on. Do you know why? Because all the live streamers that just want a quick buck just go to London for every event that's in London, and that's all right. Like back in the day, we used to do that because there was only a few live streamers out there. So when we used to go to London, it made sense. But it's like May 16th, UTK March. I'm not going to London. And one of the biggest reasons is that there's going to be every streamer on earth there. So one, I won't be able to get out, a signal out. I'm not there to make up the numbers. I'm a streamer. But here's the most important thing. If all the streamers are spending their money going there, we've all got different amounts of money. Some of them have got loads of money so they can go to everything. If you can go to everything, fine, I understand it, right? Some of us have got to go, shit, I've got a budget for what I can do this year. So for me, it's like, do I go to a UTK March where there's going to be every other streamer there and every person there, or do I cover something in Southampton that won't be seen as much? Do I cover something in Telford or Northumbria, or, you know, somewhere that is not getting the same coverage where they haven't got a camera? And I've had that door open for a long time, so people from certain groups that are doing a demo, throwing a demo, have asked me to bring my camera up. Do you mind coming down to our event and covering our event? And it's like, no, of course I don't. And that feels, honestly, in here, that feels far better than just going where every other fucker's going to film the same thing. And the other thing as well is, like, when you go do UTK thing, all the entertainment's on for you. It's a day of entertainment, right? Again, not knocking it, but my point being is, for the streamers, it's an easy day. They just have to stand there with the camera, right? Not knocking them. I really am not. It sounds like I am, but I'm not. My point being is that that's not what I do. What I do is I try and speak to people. I try and cover the event. I try and talk. I try and move around. You know, so it's, if there's people speaking like that, it's good because it gives you a break and it gives you a chance to let them speak and get their opinions across and show you why they're there. So it is good. It is good. But when you talk about a whole day event like that, it just wouldn't work out for me. I would, like I say, I wouldn't even be able to get out. But even if I could, what would be the point? So to me, you spend the money going to somewhere that's less perhaps on the map, but that's the point. The thing that nobody would have seen, people will see because you went there to show it. Doesn't make you a hero, but what it does is it makes them heroes, because those heroes that would have got unsung will at least have some camera coverage. Because for as much as the demos matter, getting them out on stream for the world to see, so America sees what we're going through, so the rest of the country can see, oh, it's not just your borough, oh, it's not just your town, even in pretty Southampton, they are still up to the same tricks, the left, the Muslims, everything else. So everybody realises they're not cut off and on an island, we're all in the same position. Beep, beep, beep. So it's really, really important. So they've done some fantastic work. And this is why I say to you, I really question those now, and again, not for questioning, say, Rupert, because it's a democracy, everybody's allowed to take a position or everything else, but I really question those that have been silent until other people have made a statement, and now they feel emboldened to come out and attack someone. And I just think, where was that opinion before you felt like you had permission because somebody bigger than you had the balls to say something? I think that's weak. I think it's really fucking weak. If you haven't got the guts to say it when it's not popular, don't say it when somebody makes it popular for you. That just shows your weakness. I really thought well, people on X have noticed as well, and it's made a lot of people look very weak because they had nothing to say until Tommy made his video, and now they've got a lot to say, and it's like, it's funny because you've been very quiet up till now, or you've even been supporting. So yeah, I'm sorry on this one. Again, I can't totally disagree with Tommy's video because I haven't seen it, but he said he was going to keep his face out of it because it was politics. I agree with that video, and I still agree with that. He should keep his face out of it. Let the politicians sort the politics out. Tommy does what he does. Do what you do best. Stay in your lane. Let them do it. Stay in their lane. Let them do their thing. They can do it better than you, so just leave them to it. They will figure it out. They'll have to. There's an election coming, there's a lot at stake, they'll have to figure it out. Yeah? So 3 years seems like a long time, but it's not that long. People will have to sort it out or we will lose. So the more people that keep coming in and trying to call people Nazis and racist, all you're doing is potentially fracturing the future of this country. Because I'll tell you something, if we don't get a right-wing party in power in the next election, this whole country is going to collectively give up. At the moment, they're all collectively just taking a big breath in. Oh my God, someone's standing up for us. Instead of just sitting at the top of the movement, monetizing misery, someone's trying to move forwards. Someone's trying to take us forwards. People are seeing it and there's a big collective intake of breath. Oh my God, is there an actual politician with power, with support, who's actually fighting for what we want? Is this real? Is this a dream? Am I in the Matrix? Do I need to wake up from this? If it is real, this is unbelievable. This is every patriot's dream come true. And then they're all picking and throwing stones and shit and bombs today. They weren't. Everyone was on the same side. Today they're all throwing shit, sticks and bombs. That's on you, Tommy. And that has just pushed us further away from the goal. Much further. That's why you don't punch down, guys. Because you have much bigger effect. Much, much bigger effect. Dangerous effect, in fact. So, I hope we can have no more interventions and we can let the politicians sort out the politics. Let's face it, they're the best qualified, right? So let's let them sort their stuff out. We keep doing the things that we're doing because we've got to keep this country together for the next 3 years. Like, that's not going to be easy. You know, we've got to keep holding the line. Easy words when a lot of people aren't prepared to leave their house, when they're only prepared to sit on the keyboard. There's hard work to be done. 3 years we've got to hold this country together for. Unless we can get Starmer out quicker than that and force a general election. But other than that, you know, but then if that happened, would the right people be in the right places to be able to take advantage of it? You've got to think about all of that. So things are really up in the air. But I'm very hopeful. But the only thing that worries me right now is if people keep taking the attitude they're taking at the moment. Let me put it another way. Again, I don't know Rupert Lowe well enough to go on my shield for him yet. We'll see how we are in 3 years' time. But I will say this. If people manage somehow to fuck up the general election and allow the Greens or Labour to win it, I'll fucking leave the country. In disgust at every other fucker. Because we've literally got, we from the local elections, we've proven the left are prepared to go out and vote. Right, we proved that. Everyone then started screaming unity. So you've got Advance and you've got, Restore. You've got two viable options there at the moment. So we should be in the best position ever. And people are going to destroy it for themselves. And we're going to end up with no one to vote for, or we're going to end up losing. If people don't get their fingers out their arse and realise opportunity is not something that comes knocking on your door every day. It takes a rare set of events to put us into the lucky spiral we're in right now. We've been spiraling downwards towards Earth at a catastrophic rate. Our country's fucked. Do you honestly think most politicians want to get into talking about mass deportations? That, for most politicians, would have been career suicide. The reason they're talking about it now is because it's the only thing left that they can do that will have an effect to fix the country. They've been left with no other weapons. That's how bad things have got. Things are that bad, ladies and gentlemen. They truly are. So these people, I don't think, would have gone for mass deportations. They've been left no other choice because no one has done nothing to stop this. In fact, what's happened is, Conservative or Labour, we've been told for 40 years, we're stopping this. Every 4 or 5 years, we're stopping this whilst increasing it. It needs to stop. If it doesn't, like, I'll be surprised if we make out the next 3 years. But if we do, and we fuck up that vote, we're done. This country's done. There's no coming back. It's already going to be in so much trouble by then. And there's going to be violence. There will be violence if Rupert Lowe got in. Not from him, but there will be. Not saying civil war, but I'm saying there will be violence. Because people, but what I loved about what Rupert Lowe did, and this is what people are failing to understand as well, calling him racist and the rest of it. What we've done in this country is we've encouraged an environment where we have made it. Look, Starmer did it this year. Oh, you refugees, illegal or whatever, we don't care. We want you here. We need you here. Right? They've been doing this. Oh, what can we do about it? Everyone's got a right to be here. Well, that's what the problem's been. Rupert's made it very fucking clear. No, you're not welcome here. No, we won't need to worry about our people. Something that every country has done for centuries, because it's what you do. It's our people that have bled for 1,000 years, and that may sound dramatic, but it's our history. They've bled for 1,000 years, 2,000 really, but nobody likes to include that. 2,000 really. They've bled on this island to go through all different kind of cultural states. But ultimately, culture is there to bring peace. People can laugh at that all they want, but that's a fact. It stops you from murdering the butcher for food. It stops a lot of things. It gives us cultural norms. So when these people like to take the piss out of British culture like it doesn't exist, if it didn't exist, you wouldn't still be alive. The people that, and you know who I'm talking about, yeah? The people like to blow up concerts and stuff like that. If the British culture didn't exist, those people would have been hanging from lampposts by now. But because we are not like that, that's why they're not. We have a culture of decency. Something that a lot of people just want to look past. But there comes a point where kindness gets seen as weakness. That's what's happened with this country, and our politicians have sold us out and kept selling this lie to us that they're doing something about it, whilst deliberately encouraging people into the country. We don't have time for half measures now. Not for Farage saying, oh, we're going to do this. No, we won't, because it'll upset the media. Fuck the media. Fuck them all. We need these people gone. Anybody, like, there needs to be ban lists. Pakistan, Somalia, places like this need to be on a ban list. You can't go on holiday to these places, right? If you try, you get in there on your own, because nobody's going to insure you to go there because they're considered to be too dangerous. But we import people from these places to come and live here. If somewhere's too dangerous to go and stay, why would you bring people there to live here? And Rupert's saying, stop all of that shit. That we will have, he was called, I call them black zones, but he calls them red zones. Just places where you know they are too tribal or warring to have come into your country. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Answers on a postcard. What is wrong with that? And the last thing I want to address today, this is more of a question than it is a statement. Zionism. When I first came on the internet, I had never really heard of Zionism. I didn't know what it was. And it always confused me. And everybody, it was weird because everybody just called everybody a Zionist. And I truly didn't understand what it meant. Still not totally sure what it means to some people these days, because everybody's got a different translation of it. But when I spoke to Jews that I had online on here, one of them particularly told me there's two types of Zionists, mate. And I said, right. And he said, there's the Zionism that we talk about. I said, right. And he said, that's believing that as Jews that we've got a home, we've got a right to a homeland for the Jews. I said, yeah, I've heard that one. He said, but there's also a group of us, he said, probably about 250,000. He said, who are much more hardline. They're much more like the extremists that you're used to covering. And I was like, no, bullshit. And he was like, no. In as much as they look down on people from other countries, they've got like a supremacy thing going on. But he said that you're literally talking about a group of, and he was guessing, he said about 250,000 people. So it was fair enough. So he gave me this definition, and people are always making different definitions. Here's what I'm confused with. I've got nothing against the Jews. Do I believe they should have a homeland? Absolutely. Israel, however, is a government. I don't trust the Australian government. I don't trust the American government. I don't trust my own government. Why would I trust Israel's government? They're a Middle East government. Middle East does not have our best interests at heart. I've got no faith in the Israeli government, same as I haven't in any other government around the world. I don't trust any government. So no, I don't trust Israeli government. So what's really confusing to me is when people, and this is what I don't, and again, maybe I need to be educated here, but when I first joined this movement, when people were called Zionists, they used to deny it. Because it seemed that to be called a Zionist suggested, I think, to people that you were being paid by Israel to do stuff. And it was ridiculous because they used to accuse everybody of being a Zionist, yeah? It was stupid. But the point being is that taking it on faith of what it really means, if a Zionist is about Jewish people having a home for the Jews, right, I get it. So why have we got loads of British people now, only in the last year or two, trying to create a new narrative about Jesus and everything else and calling themselves Zionists? Like, I get a Jewish person calling themselves a Zionist. That makes sense. But if you want to try and change its meaning to, oh no, I'm a Zionist because I believe in a homeland for the Jews. Yeah, well, worry about your own homeland first. How about being a nationalist and worrying about our country? Because I'll tell you what, the people in Israel, I know they've got like wet bombs coming and everything else at the moment, but nevertheless, they're quite capable of arming themselves. They're in a lot less fucking danger than we're in right now. And they're in a lot less shit because at least they're together. We're in a mess. You got Starmer signing us up for wars we can't even fight. And we can't. They are preparing your kids for military service. So Starmer's already said, your kids are going to have to make a sacrifice for his fucking wars. And that it won't be a sacrifice, it'll be a slaughter. It'll be a slaughter because we haven't got, there's nothing to do with our military not being any good. It's to do with the fact that it's been underfunded, understaffed for years. We haven't got a navy like we had before. We've got nothing. We've got nothing. We're not in a position to fight a war. And he's talking about you as parents need to basically hand your kids over. For what cause? Like, there was a peace deal on the table. You didn't want it. You went as a insignificant country in terms of military terms, and you went and stuck yourself in the middle of a conflict that had much bigger stakes than him involved in it. So, for me, you've got to be aware of world events, because with world wars looming and stuff like that, you've got to be. But fuck Israel, yeah. Like, I don't want to see them lose, like, against Muslims and stuff like that. That's true. And the Jewish people, I don't want to see attacked. I do think they've been through enough. Leave them alone, you know, definitely. But in terms of trusting the Israeli government, or, you know, I don't trust my own government. Why am I going to trust some foreign Middle Eastern government? Fuck them. Yeah, because them and the Saudis have both been up to the same shit. And that is paying money to buy off stars, influencers and things like that to come back and say good things about their countries. Why do you need to stop? Why do you need to pay people to do that if the country's so great? Saudi Arabia is a particularly bad one for doing it. I mean, putting them on the same scale is not fair, because Saudi are doing it mega big. Well, I don't need to tell you that. You've probably seen the boxing, the women's boxing, the UFC, WWE. Do I need to continue? That just business. God, they even started doing, what was it? Snooker, was it? Everything. They're trying to take over everything. Although they're beginning to spend less and less money now, so perhaps the Saudis are beginning to realise that they haven't got a bottomless money pit like they thought. So yeah, this is why I get nutsed off with it all, because we've got a bunch of centre leftists telling us they're Zionists, talking about every fucking country but our own. We've got a movement that's just been treading water for years and not really gaining any ground. And yet, for the first time, we've got an opportunity. There's light down there, guys. Now, if we chase that light and it's bullshit, then we can fucking hammer whoever made us chase it. But I would rather chase that light and find out whether there is freedom at the end of that tunnel than I would sabotage it before I ever got the chance to find out. And that's the position we're in. So I'm not going to go out and sabotage anything, not that I could anyway. I'm going to watch with great anticipation. I'm going to look for advance to match Rupert's opening salvo with a match of reversing the Online Safety Act, things like that. Now, if Advance come out and did the same thing and say they were going to repeal Starmer's mad laws, that some of them, I believe, possibly go against human rights, and I do believe he could end up in a court one day about it, like the different sentences for different races, that kind of thing, and different genders. I think that he overstepped there big time. So there's a massive advantage to be taken there. So I don't understand people's attitude at the moment. So this whole thing with the ethno-nationalist debate, it's a different debate than it was going back 5-6 years. Because what happened 5-6 years ago is our movement was attacked by Mark Collett. Mark Collett idealised the Austrian painter, yeah? Scumbag. And some of those people still support him, and I would say that's the type of people that I don't support. The problem is that ethno-nationalism is too big. Ethno-nationalism is used as an umbrella for too many different types of people. The fact of it is there's people that call themselves ethno-nationalists that have almost completely different opinions to somebody else who calls themselves the same thing. Some of them I would call just more nationalists. Others I would call Austrian painters, you know, and there's a whole spectrum in between. So what we need to do, instead of alienating the voter base and half the people in the movement, who I know, literally, whether they know it or not, those two have had F-nuts on the show that they're friends with. And whether they know that or not, but so it's stupid to alienate people that identify this name when you need to really find out what they stand for. The ones that are racist show themselves up pretty quick. A guy came on my channel the other day and he said, yeah, I'm racist, and if that's what gets the job done, fine. Now I said to him straight away, I don't agree with you. I don't think we need to be racist to get the job done. But these people aren't the people who are racist aren't shy about it, is my point. So if somebody who claims to be an ethno, and again, I think there's a lot of interpretations of the word, but isn't racist and doesn't want to make the country 100% white, well then maybe it's worth listening to whatever things they've got to say, because maybe they're not what you think they are. It's very important, because there's God knows how many millions of people across Europe that call themselves this name, rightly or wrongly, and I think there needs to be subdivisions of it, because again, you've got the Austrian painter worshippers, which I just do not know whether, and those ones hate the military, hate everything about our country. They're more like leftists. But then you've got the other ones that are as patriotic as anybody else. And I could name people, I don't want to, but I could name people in and outside of all groups that are of exactly that designation. But it would also reveal then that nearly everybody you know is working with somebody who identifies as that. And that's my point. Like, if you're going to call people out, then call yourself out. And if you're not prepared to call yourself out, ask yourself why you're not prepared to call yourself out. Because the people you know don't stand for all those horrible racist things. Well then, do you not realise that may be the case for the other millions of people that are saying the same thing? We've got to be discerning, case by case basis. Yeah, and stop just... This is what the mistake the left made. Umbrella terms, blanket terms to blanket silence people. If we make that same mistake, then we're going to tar racists with nationalists and end up losing elections and losing support because we were too ignorant to find out the difference. Right? Now, I used to hate the ethno-nationalists. Nobody hated them more than me. But I hated the lot that came with Mark Collett. That was 100,000 people out of millions. So I didn't give the rest a chance. That's on me. That's on me. Now I know there's people who will call themselves nationalists who've come on my channel before, and we will never get on. They consider themselves to be above me. They consider themselves to be above all of us. They consider us weak, and they consider themselves ahead of the game. Those people I'm never going to get on with. But there are other ones that you wouldn't know unless they said the words. So we really need to be a little bit more open-minded, and realise that, yes, we don't want racists involved in what's going to happen in the future. We don't want those kinds of people. I 100% agree. Using the word F that has now become a bit like the left using Nazi. It's lost all meaning. Now we need to subdivide and figure out what it actually means now in this current 2026 format. Because to me it's simple. You're either a racist fuck that wants everybody out of the country because that's your agenda and always has been, or you're not, and you're doing it because you want to help the country. It's that simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You really don't need to overcomplicate it. Like I said, these people don't deny who they are. These people don't deny what they are. So it's not a hard thing to figure out. But whilst people are prepared to follow the leader rather than follow the hearts, the heads, we're going to be in disarray. People wanted unity. Unity's come for you. Unity has come knocking. How are you going to respond? Because it's on everybody now, every leader, every creator, every one of us. You wanted it, you asked for it, you moaned about it, you bleated about it, you went on about it. They all did, didn't they? Well, they've got the opportunity for it now, and now they're all throwing toys at each other. Which is it? Do you want unity, or do you want unity only if you're in control? Just say the truth so that we all know. Unity, or unity with you in control as the monarch? We need to know, because that will help us understand greatly the motivations behind what's going on at the moment. Because really, we should be in the best of positions. But instead, and we are, don't get me wrong, we are. There's a majority of people that are still feeling pretty damn good. But, yeah, I would question those. There's nothing wrong with questioning anything, by the way. Anybody wants to question Rupert, now is the time to question him. Definitely. So I'm not saying stop free speech. All I'm saying is there's some people doing some very dodgy things for some very dodgy reasons. And like I say, same people screaming for unity. But it seems like it's unity on their terms with the people that they choose. Is that unity, guys? Or is that control? Is that control? Control of the money, control of the narrative. See, the problem is money changes everything. Anyway, it's absolutely effing beautiful out here. It really is lovely. Let me just have a quick look through comments. Bear in mind, I only get 1/3 of the comments on here, max, because I'm on Prism and YouTube censors them. So I will have a quick look at them, but I probably got too many to go back through and I don't want to bore you to death. So we'll have a quick look. Hey Craig, good to see you. Good to see you, Steve, Dave. Oh, it's not scrolling. Scroll for me, baby. Scroll for me, baby. Let's go over here and let the dog have a play in while we have a quick chat. I don't know how much battery. Let me put battery in because I don't know how much battery I've got left, guys. And again, thank you so much for the people that have stuck with me. You know, it's one thing coming over and clicking on the channel, but to come and stick with me, appreciated. And I will do, like I said, the encouragement that gives me. Like today, I feel a bit. I wouldn't say off. Day after day after a demo, you're always a bit tired. But what I will say is I just wanted to come on and say thank you and say all this because I'm really kind of reinvigorated, and it is just support. It's just support. Like that shout out from Jupiter. I know it sounds silly. I know it sounds silly to some of you, but when you're rebuilding yourself, those things mean a hell of a lot. You know, so it's like, wow, that's cool. That's really cool. Like. More and more I'm seeing people do things that they've got no benefit for themselves to do. No benefit whatsoever. And it's like, that was nice. That was nice for the sake of being nice. That was nice because somebody felt the need to stand up for me, or like, I do feel respected more than I deserve. So I've got nothing to complain about. I've been attacked, I've been misused, I've had all kinds of stuff happen to me. I've got nothing to complain about. I'm a happy guy. I'm growing a new channel. I've got some great people in my life. I've got you guys, which is, again, encouraging and performative, and it plays on you, makes you try harder. And we're coming this summer, which is my time of year. I hate winter. You know, and like I say, with all this extra hope, there's so much to fight for now. You go back 6 months, me and Vin were like, civil war, strike, what's good, you know, that's where we were at. Everybody felt defeated. So I don't want to pin anybody's hope on false hope, but I'll tell you what, we need some hope, because people have been right on the edge in this country, scared, angry, and this summer could very well have been the exploding point, still could be, if certain atrocities still happen. So, you know, it doesn't, whatever's going on politically at the moment doesn't take away the chance of civil war. In fact, some people might want to speed that up because of what's going on at the moment, if you get what I'm trying to say. So we are far, far, far from saved. All we've got is hope. But a lot of things were built on hope. A lot of things have to start with hope. And I'll take real 3D, hello baby, hello. I'll take real 3D hope over ambiguous statements and not really knowing where we're going all of the time. You know, like I say, respect to the old guard, with true respect, but they've had a long time to move us forward, and they've done their bit. But I think there's a whole new crew, as in terms of politicians, people like that, who are ready to step up. Let's let them step up. If my channel keeps growing like this, I'm going to do what I used to do. I'm going to help smaller creators again. I'm going to help them become independent again. And then if they want to go and work for someone, they can work for someone. If they don't, they don't. But as soon as my channel gets big enough again, and it will, just work, then I'm going to start doing what I used to do, platforming smaller creators who are trying to come up, younger creators who don't get a look in because everybody's too insecure to let them on. I'm going to start doing that again. As soon as I get big enough numbers, I'm going to start interviewing those people and try and give their channels a boost, so that people can see the people around the country who aren't earning money, who are still fighting just as hard. I think that's really important, because some of those creators are really, really talented, but they don't get viewed because they're not in the club, you know? So I would really love to go back doing that again. Sorry, I'm laughing because Steve's always telling me things, right? He's either got thrown off or something, or he's had an outrage, or it's, oh, I love it. I love Steve's posts. So I'm trying to catch up, but the background's really awful. I can see the thing. I can see. I've got my glasses in my pocket. I can see the screen really well today. I tell you what. Can you see the chat's not responding to my fingers, guys? Can you see that? It's locked. Oh, now it's moving again. Windsock is was the sound really bad? Was it? I didn't bring my mic today because I didn't charge my phones up before coming out, and it looked like a beautiful day, and I didn't think it was going to be that windy. Hey, I didn't think it was going to be that windy. So yeah, I came out and it's ended up being a bit, coming back a bit windier than I thought. But I'm sweating. It's still lovely and warm though. It's beautiful. I expect it's going to get nicer over the next few days. Like I said, it's supposed to be sunny, 14, 15, 16. So I'm going to be out on it. But I'm going to do some like I said, the rest of the day today I'm going to take off. But I think there's going to be some announcements coming up. I don't know. I don't want to say the exact days, but in the next, say, week or less. And there's going to be some projects. And again, I don't like to say too much because I don't like to promise things I don't see through. But I can tell you there's at least another 2 projects on the way. So there's plenty to look forward to in the near future, and in the future on this channel, Vin's channels, and many other independent and channels in general. There's stuff going on. Some we all know all about. Some of us our own stuff. There's a lot coming, and I can't wait to do some of the stuff I've got planned with Vin, because we get on really well, we've got the chemistry, and yeah, I can't wait. So so much coming your way. But yeah, so I just want to finish on thanking everybody for coming over, giving me that chance. And yeah, people have tried to call me a divider, right? I've been in this movement for 8 years. You don't survive in a movement for 8 years if you're a divider. I had a bigger channel than I got now. I had about 20k channel. And because my channel's smaller now, people think that they can speak about me how they want. And they can. But the fact of it is, you don't get to be a divider and have 600 subscribers. Right? You can't be insignificant, as I've been told that I am, and at the same time be called a divider. Because if I was dividing people, then I'd be successful, wouldn't I? So therefore, I would have some power. But then I'm told that I'm insignificant because of my little 600 subscribers. So therefore, you don't get to call me a divider then. Because, quite rightly, a channel of 600 cannot divide anybody. So if anybody could be divided by a channel of my size, they were already on the brink anyway. So let's get realistic about it. My channel has always been about the same thing, and sometimes it gets too uncomfortable for some people. Chasing honesty. Shining a light in the places that people don't want you to see. Always been the tagline, because it's always been the truth. It gets uncomfortable sometimes. As we've seen recently, it makes people uncomfortable sometimes, because sometimes we go into areas that are uncomfortable to talk about. If you think that's not the same for me, it can be. Like, if people don't realise, they think this has all been a great time for me. When you are criticising people that you have respect, not people, but a certain particular person you've respected so much in the past, that's actually quite difficult. But if you're married to the truth above some bullshit friendship that isn't real anyway, because you're being slagged off in the meantime, your duty is to the truth. My duty is to the truth, above any friendship, above any love, above anything. And that will cause me to lose friends. That will cause me to lose a lot of things. But that is what I've always been selling on this channel from day one. Because everybody says, oh, you've got an agenda. Yeah, of course I have. You don't start a channel without an agenda. But my agenda has always been out there for you to know. Chasing honesty. Trying to spread the word, which is share the risk. Yeah? It's an Iron Spartacus idea. We all stand up together, then they cannot arrest us all. Share the risk. Share the risk with the Muslim that dares to slag down his own religion. Share the risk with the people that stand up in the streets and the police are coming for them, but when you all stand up, they don't know who to go for. Share the risk with the political statements that you make. Share the risk with the person at work that tried to talk about Tom Robinson and got shouted down by 8 other people, and then you realise that was wrong. Share the risk. That's what I have. That's why so many videos, if you look share the risk, you'll find me. Because it meant something to me. It meant something to me. I made documentaries, I've done all kinds of stuff. And again, it's old news now. It's why somebody said to me today about re-uploading. It's a good idea to re-upload it. But I realise I don't want to live off past glories. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a part 2. Make it 2026 worthy, or probably 2027 by the time it's finished. But I'll do another documentary because I believe I could do better than the last one anyway. That last one was my first documentary, so I believe I can do better. But in my own time scale, my own time. But we are here to serve you. It's not altruistic. And I defy anybody that says it is. It's not altruistic because ultimately I want the country to be better for me, for you. I want it to be better for all of us. So it's not altruism. I'm not doing this because I'm such a great person, you're all bad people. I'm doing this because I want us all to have better lives. And if me having a better life means you have a better life, so be it. I'm all right with that because I want to see people happy. That's not altruism. I'm doing it for me. But I'm also, the very fact that doing it for other people makes us all happy is the best bonus in the world. That's what caused humans to start working together, realising that their mutual benefit, however they felt about it, was actually to everybody's benefit. That's why just one criticising what I'm seeing at the moment. It's people who could be in a position of mutual benefit stabbing each other in the face. It's like you really are slow, aren't you, Neanderthals? I mean, these are people that call others racist, and they are literally got the brains of Neanderthals. They've got the golden goose right there, and they're about to cut its head off and take its eggs, thinking it's just a regular day in the morgue. I don't get it, but that's on them. As voters, what I've seen is, from the comments I've had, from the people that have been following me, and have had conversations with us on Vins, there's so many of you out there that seem to be seeing things for what they really are. And that is the big thing. I'll be honest with you, I considered at one point just quitting for good, because I really thought people out there had just given up. It felt like it for a while. It felt like people had given up. But I was wrong. And I've seen people mobilise in the millions. And I've seen people give a shit, whether it's Southampton Patriot level, whether it's you guys fighting for what's right and wrong, even in my own comment section. I've seen that passion, that flair, regardless of whether people are right, wrong, that passion is there. And what I really was proud of was, I say proud of like a parent, I'm sorry for that, but what I was really proud of was I did a video about Thorpe and Inman. It did really good numbers, but at the same time, you also checked me and said, but we need to be worried about our country. That was the checkmate I was waiting for, because that meant to me, these people not only have got their heads screwed on about these two guys, but they're not going to be distracted. They want us to move on now and focus on the country. That is music. Because that's exactly the mindset that we've been looking for ages. You guys have got it. You guys have got it. Together, like, this is what everybody used to believe. We're stronger together. We can only win this together. Unity is not something you sit screaming from the sidelines while slagging people off. Unity is something you do by action. And there's political unity and there's other kinds of unity. It's up to people where they want to fall now. But if they want to fall on the sword because an influencer told them to me that's a wasted death. If they want to do it for other reasons, it might not be. But I would seriously say to people, like I said a few weeks ago, do your own thinking. Trust no one. Don't trust me. Don't trust Vin. Don't trust anybody. Trust yourselves. Because it's the only way you can be absolutely sure that you've weighed up the foolproof and in your own time, you know? Don't trust anybody. And I don't mean that like be paranoid, otherwise that would be ridiculous. What I mean is make up your own minds, which I'm sure many of you do anyway. But there's so many people out there that would like to make your mind up for you. Question why, you know? If the answer that people, if the things that people are preaching to you are inherently good, then why are they trying to make the choices for you? Because inherently good would mean that you would naturally choose it. So why, you don't need to keep telling somebody something is good if it's good. It speaks for itself. So I think I'm sick of the wolf tickets that we've been sold for years and years and years over this and that and this and that. I'm not buying any anymore. You know, I'm not being told who and what to think about for and how and when, and I'm looking at the reality of the situation going, wow, we've got a hope here. There's some really good things going on. I've got some good things going on my channel. I've got some people on my channel who I've got to provide for, which I'm going to do, and we're going to make the best of this. And we've got 3 years to see where we go from here. But let's make things better. And again, let's hold the line for our country together. We've got to fight for our country for 3 years first. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that got to go right. Let me finish on this. We've got to hold our country together for 3 years. And then beyond that, let's get over where it's safe. Then beyond that, we've then got to get a party that's never been in an election before, all the way up the ranks to winning a general election. Never been done before. All of this will take a lot of luck, hard work, timing, all kinds of things. We're really going to need to work hard to make this happen. But we could. And this might be the very last chance we get to save this country. And I know when people say save the country, it sounds dramatic, but you know what's happening in your towns. You know what's happening to the girls of this country. You've seen it. So it's not a save the country, it's a genuine, if we like the Britain that we remember growing up in, it's this next election or forget it, we're done. It's over. It's over. No matter, and again, whether that's advance, whether that's restore, I don't care. I just want the party in that's going to get it done. That's the truth. I don't give a shit who it is. I want them to do the things we need them to do and do it as soon as possible. So whoever that is will get my vote. And I want them in and I want them to do it. So I'm not, again, so people can call me a divider all they want. All I've done is called out the truth. The dividers are the people that have now got an opportunity for unity, that have been calling for unity, and yet for some reason don't want it. I would seriously question why. It's about narrative control and always money. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know it's been a bit of a long one today. I've waffled a bit more than I intended to. Hey Tina, my chat keeps getting stuck. I think it might have been because yesterday I had to stick something on. I hope I haven't damaged my screen, but hang on a minute, guys. It might just be the screen needs a clean, but I'm just going to leave it there, yeah, guys, because just hope I haven't dropped. I did drop my phone yesterday. No, I didn't. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. So what I'll do is I'll have a look at your chat again later on, and if there's anything I feel like I should have answered, I'll leave an answer in the comments for whoever. Yeah, I'll tag you and leave an answer. Otherwise, I just read through. I always do read through the comments, guys. Even if I can't get the chance to do it at the time, I always do try to. The only comments I miss, occasionally some people leave the comments right at the end of a video after days when I've released other ones. I might not see them for a while. But generally speaking, I do try, and I do try with the live chats and that, because you've been good enough to type in stuff, and I do try and take it on live. I just don't understand. Oh, it's moving now. Why this wasn't working very well. But yeah, no, thank you all thank you all for supporting me, and we will bring some fun times. And again, me feeling the way I am at the moment, I say at the moment, me just being back, it means we're gonna have some fun times, you know. It means that I'm gonna be stupid bastard Tom 1 minute, and serious Tom the next, and that's me. I am a mood swingy kind of guy. Go. But not in a horrible way, but a mood swingy kind of guy where I'll just go from really silly to straight on this, and you know, and it could be quite a journey, and we've quite enjoyed that journey together before. So hopefully we can do that again. And yeah, we've got to try and have some fun doing this, because I'll tell you something. People say sometimes, how can you laugh at a time like this? And I've got my fucking coat stuck now. How can you laugh at a time like this? And how can you? And it's like, if you don't, you would lose your shit. You would lose your mind. You have to be able to laugh. You have to be able to make some jokes, because otherwise this would all get too serious way too quick. So you have to keep it in perspective, and always try and work within that. But yeah, it is serious. All of it is serious. But if you don't learn to laugh, I remember being with Tommy when we did Rape in Britain, and he said, I remember one day we were in the car coming back from doing a really good mission, and he said it's good, isn't it? I said, yeah, but I feel really guilty. And he said, why? And I said, because I've enjoyed it. And I said, and yet the subject matter is, you know. And he was like, yeah, I get you. He said, but if you didn't enjoy it like that, he said, could you do it? And I was like, He said, it would be too heavy, wouldn't it? And I was like, yeah, it would. It would be too much. It'd be too much. So it was right. It was learning to enjoy the bits that you could enjoy, whilst taking the bits seriously that you had to take seriously, was how you coped with it. And I've taken that on board ever since he said that to me, because it really does work for me in life. So, you know, serious when you have to be, and silly when you can get away with it. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys, thank you. Thanks for joining in. Unity of purpose, yeah, absolutely. And again, if anybody sees Jupiter, you just let them know I said thank you, yeah? Thanks for all your comments, guys. Oh, I feel bad not answering all these. Thank you so much, guys. Really. Right. I'm going to overstay my welcome though. I've got a good sixth sense for this. I'm going to overstay my welcome. So I'm going to get out of here now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I'm going to take the rest of the day off and then we'll see where we go after the next couple of days. I am Tom Fury. This is Zero News. Thank you so much for watching. I'm calling it a day for now. Take care, everyone.